Good evening, South Africa. I'm Kahisho KG, and this is AM News Live. We are coming to you live from our Johannesburg studio. And of course, today I want us to touch on one of the very disturbing issues that we have seen on the social media in the past few days. Of course, probably for hashtag FreeZuma. We know that last week many people were not in support of the decision by our government to arrest the former president Jacob Zuma. And we have seen people taking out on the street in a form of protestation where they were showing that they are in support of the former President Jacob Zuma, who has been arrested on Wednesday last week. And of course, today I want us to discuss, have a conversation or a dialogue with regard to all these issues that have been happening in our country in the past few days. I mean, just yesterday, while President Ramaphosa was addressing the nation, calling on unity and for peace in the country, we have seen people looting from the stores, the big shopping malls, people carrying valuable items from cash crusaders, from ShopRites, you name all these stores, people carrying fridges on their heads. Wow, it was very, very, very disturbing to see all those images coming out. We have our reporters on the grounds who will, of course, keep us updated. And earlier on, before we come to this live report, I was chatting to him. He did indicate that those streets are still flooded with people going up and down, taking whatever that they can take from those stores. It's very disturbing. This is no longer a protestation. It's a form of, it's an act of criminality that is taking place where people are enriching themselves, stealing. I don't know whether you call it stealing, but this is unacceptable. On the line, we have our political analyst and also an expert, Maxwell Masuku, who will, of course, give us more information and also an updates with regard to what has been happening in our country. We have seen how other political parties have been reacting to this matter. And of course, earlier today it's been reported that the SANDF have been deployed in other parts of our country, here in Gauteng and also in KZN. Of course, we will hear more on that. And in our other developing stories, the protesters have blocked the roads from Polokwane to Gauteng, just next to a carousel of ramp. And they've been there burning tires. It's been very hectic. And of course, tonight we are expecting to hear the word from President Ramaphosa, who will of course address the nation in response to some of these persistent public violence that is taking place in parts of our country. And of course, we are still on the issue of the SANDF. We've been deployed in our country. There have been some speculation and many aspects saying that the deployments of the SANDF could further flame the situation. I don't know about that. We will hear more from our political analyst Maxwell Masuku, who is of course will be enlightening us more on some of these developments in our country. And of course, we will be chatting to our reporters who is in the streets of Pietermaritzburg, just to give us the latest with regard to what is happening there. And we will cross to him just after this conversation with Maxwell Masuku. Maxwell Masuku, thank you so much, my man, for making time to speak to us here on the AM News. And just talk to us about the situation in our country and the impact this will have to our economy, and also looking at those people walking around not wearing their masks. There's no social distance. Talk to us more on that, and also touch on the issue of the SANDF. What can we expect?
Oh, thank you, Kaiso and the viewers. With the wake of this massive demonstration, protests, and massive looting that has been ongoing on this country, we have witnessed today South African Defence Force issuing a statement that has been deployed in the two provinces, KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng, where these protests are prevalent. So this opens up the discussion. It has started as a demonstration to actually free the former statesman out of prison. However, we haven't seen anyone marching to the escort prison where the former statesman has been detained, but rather they are running to the malls to actually breaking into the shops and take some stuff. There has been some criminal activity that has been ongoing. So this opens up the discussion that people are actually hungry, people are actually frustrated, and these are some of the ramifications of lockdown. Because remember, we are in a midst of pandemic. However, there is no moral justification whatsoever of what is transpiring, because South Africa does not exist in isolation. The world economics have also suffered a knock. No one has ever known that we will be in the midst of pandemic as we are speaking right now. So unemployment has also raised, but these protests are not actually doing any good to the country, because there is going to be some damage that needs to be repaired, and it also needs some money. So some of the businesses are not going to survive because they also they've suffered enough during this pandemic. So now with the wake of this, I think it's a major blow. So we do we do hope that the the South African Defence Force will enforce and bring stability in this country.
Well, thank you so much, Maxwell Masuko, for that input. We really appreciate. And as I did mention earlier on, that we will be crossing to our reporters. We're standing in the street of Peter Marisbeck just to give us the latest with regard to what is happening there. Let's go there